Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Questionable Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, FGC Chris, here with my co-host, Mr. PhD Joshua. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. We got us a guest here with us tonight, Mr. Rodimus Prime. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm doing really good here tonight. It's been
As
a
I,
long
as
week,
I said,
but
we just go
it's
ahead
good
and just
close
let
to
you
it.
introduce yourself to everybody.
All right, well, for those on the platform, it's probably my first time getting a chance to meet you guys. Some in the algorithm might remember me or know of me. They call me Rodimus or Rodimus Prime. That's my handle and my moniker here in the fighting game community. I do a lot of competing. I do streaming. I'm also a TO for a handful of different communities. Worked with a lot of the greats and worked with a handful of the greats to be. What was it? IRL, I just generally just do home care and I do writing, try and see if I can do occasional activism work from time to time. After taking years to invest in that in a lot of the video gaming realms that I've traveled across before even coming to the fighting game scene, I used to come from Transformers online between Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. Have a little bit of Call of Duty, a little bit of background, a lot of Destiny and Destiny 2, but we won't get into that. Then I came here to the fighting game community. Did good on my just on having a nice little journey, a chill journey away from the usual FPS genre. I did okay for myself. I got picked up by a couple of different teams through the years in order to try and experiment a different type of social atmosphere with friends and family and whatnot. Was able to be signed to one or two different teams. Was able to reach a decent semi-professional status and whatnot. Got to be a Medify coach, I still am, and I try and pay it forward to the communities from time to time as I can. I also take the time to still train and practice as I can, battling all these different things that we got to deal with in the adult world and all that stuff, and to still see if I can hunt my ticket or hunt my first place.
Well, good to hear.
Mm,
I feel like I
Like
may
I said,
have
I got a
shot
quick
you.
question for him.
Go for it.
How bad do you want a War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron remastered?
Honestly, if they remastered War for Cybertron, I never would have went into Destiny. I would have just stayed on Destiny, where I could actually get what feels to me is like real sharpshooting. Because the fact
Because
when you
I,
get a chance to have like all that free flow and stuff when you're sitting there rolling as a scout and whatnot, transform and bing, you quick scope that boy. It's like, damn, that feels good.
man, I'm like, at all the remasters they've done this generation, I'm like, that's the one. I'm just like, man, why haven't y'all touched that franchise?
Exactly, like PC went all the way around. Like they had PC had like some convenient hackers, like real good friendly hackers that were able to redirect the IP to allow us to get back in after the servers shut down for a little bit, and it was just a nice deja vu journey into the video game just to feel it up. You get a chance to pick up the null ray, you pick up the little shotgun and whatnot. You get to go into multiplayer and do your thing and get to kind of have that freedom again. They could do that in this generation. Of all these things of games that you're trying to remaster and to relive the glory days for, I guess, an admirable profit, depending upon who has the IP. Hasbro and Activision could do that for the Transformer games. That's all the Transformers fans asked for. That Transformers Reactivate thing was a beautiful letdown. It was going to be a really great game, and I just surprised that they didn't try and just take to try to save face, or any of them try to save face in just remastering the old games. I guarantee you, hundreds of thousands of people will pick that up in an instant. It goes out.
Oh, definitely. I feel like I may have
No.
shot you once or twice in one of those games because I was a mean scientist player with a burst
We
rifle.
may we may have if you've seen the name XX Rodimus 8XX or Rodimus Prime 86, and that probably was either me or one of my alt accounts.
Sounds like that was on Xbox, so it's a possibility.
Oh, you're on Xbox. Okay, then there's a chance I probably may have met you later on down the line during like the start of the Discord era for the game.
No, I did not essentially join in on that part. I wish I did.
Because I come from the PlayStation side mainly. I started the game back in 20 I originally started it on Fall of Cybertron, like 2015, and then I followed the advice of one of my friends. His name was Straxus Prime, in order to go back in time and try the older games and go further into that community from a yesteryear. And so I went further in that community, and so I kind of bounced back and forth between the communities with with the work I was doing back in those years in the scene. And War for
Cause I still,
Cybertron deserves a lot of love.
I'm about to say, because I still got my original copies sitting on the shelf.
Wish I still had mine.
You didn't keep the case?
Oh no, I still have them. They're in mint condition, case, everything.
Hold on to that hush puppy.
I'm like, that's the one game. Like those two games right there. I'm like, I would never trade those or sell those for anything. Those are like the best Transformers games we've ever gotten.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and jump into that.
Now, the main subject of tonight is basically sort of indie games versus the AAA in a weird sense. This is something Mr. Rodimus Prime really wanted to dive into. So, Mr. Rodimus, you start us off.
Sure. So let me see if I can gather some of my thoughts here for this, because I feel that the communities are split to an integral point when it comes to the upper version of a community and the lower version of a community. Lower in the sense of it not being as popular or tied to a game that's not as popular, and so the community probably isn't as big, but at the cost of it not being big, it's a lot more inclusive and more tightly wound, or more grassroots driven. So I want to go into talking about the player expression argument, which for it's like the entire process is entirely on you, the individual, and it's why fighting games are unique and fans can struggle to identify what it takes or what it makes to like truly be so different than any other game. It's because of player expression. Player expression is the best out of all the genres here in a fighting game than something like a shooter game or a sci-fi game. Something that challenges you and it makes you think, or it provides an entirely new way to play that game, or a refinement in a way that makes the gameplay hit home. A casual or a competitive breath of fresh air at that. Like you got examples like Wastelands 3 or It Takes Two, good duo game. Talos Principle. Like new studios or lesser known studios somewhat nail this essence faster or more consistently than popular or AAA title studios. They do this because, for one, I feel there's less supply and demand, there's less chance to mess it up, there's an easier distribution cycle to the public in which to manage or edit as you need, and there's more time to actually focus on constructive pivoting and slice of life things in that experience for natural returning investment. Higher level games or games that are more AAA and whatnot have to try to appeal to the masses alongside a deadline and a budget. And I don't think that all of them consistently nail most of these facets about the title, because the distribution cycle for more popular games is more schedule based in order to meet the demand of rising or standing competition. And there is constant supply and demand for that. There's always a chance when it comes, well, for fighting games, there's always a chance that it may or may not get messed up in the process of its lifespan, depending upon how many times a patch or patch notes or expected DLC is going to be coming in. And there's less time to really focus on constructive pivot points or slice of life points in the game unless you have the correct team and dev team to deal with those before the product goes live, I feel. Or you can also get convenient investment or returning input from the player base or from those that try out the item before it goes on market sale. Which is why I can kind of see why some people or some companies push the demo aspect and others don't. But I think that some should go more in detail on the demo aspect in like what are the norms that you want to do with this demo that you didn't originally think of doing for the final product, give them a shot and see how that niche little inclusion of an idea or side feature might actually bring in that extra audience from time to time that otherwise wouldn't be here. They'd be here on a lesser seen title that would have thought of that. Next is the oh, by the way, before I keep going, is my mic okay?
It's coming out a little bit, but good for the most part.
Okay, that's why I wanted to know if it's going back and forth or whatnot. And this goes back into a community thing here. And so I want to think about the phrase, something about you shows people the truth about themselves and they don't like it, so they act out. It's if anything about the old game facts, like yester generation have taught me about this, is that anything valuable, it's that more grateful communities come from a base understanding of the game's IP and its natural sources or returning investments. It doesn't have to be this whole franchise or almighty IP to house that same enrichment. More popular communities, I think, feel or imply like their morals are owned by like the government or are so drenched in propaganda that you have to relate to the person in order to be deemed normal to a societal or an innate societal standard in that community. And this is because like everyone is trying to be politicized or weaponizing words in the politics right now. So you damn near like can't be open without risking being either a leftist or a right, or not just you, not the point of why we're here in the community in the first place. Like you got to forget the whole point of what having common interests was for no reason. People are just looking at okay, you being a good or a bad father, or they're looking at you being a Democrat or a Republican or MAGA, or they're trying to be for pro-life or pro-choice, or you're they're being subtle against you for being ghetto and not being some elite or bougie like them or some upper class snob. Like there are some communities that are embracing that fake shit to be some morality police officer in trying to be the first one to point out that you're BSing, while you, sir, are doing this before we even stepped up to say hello to you. You already have a narrative and a POV of me that I have to inadvertently and unknowingly convince you I'm not, while still being friendly in our general discussion. Like, the hell? Smaller communities don't have this issue at all. They just play the game, and it stays to the simplicity of quality of life that said game or community is going through in its natural evolution and common interests. Problems will ensue, of course, and they're tackled as they arise. They don't become something bigger than that, not generally. And I ask myself in those instances, why do bigger communities have to pass some purity test to continue a person's storytelling in the genre or their interests to that game or to any type of fighting game or to compete, when you were already convinced of what they were going to be from gossip and not your own interaction? It's like just being some lurker or some pussy in the shadows. A problem arises in a big community, it goes two ways, and it pivots into you like about to blow up from some complete negligence of a morality origin point. For one, mods or a figure, let's say something big does happen in a community compared to a small one. So in a small one, it's kind of just tackled with, you talk to the person individually, and it may or may not go away from there, or the person, short of the person probably being removed from the group or from that social scene. Here in a bigger scene, you have mods or a figure that take care of it. It's done for the time being. Then at the same time, if it spreads enough, this might get aired out in the streets like laundry. Situation then gets magnified, drama possibly created, and then the court of public opinion is now in session. Two, the other is short of the person either being silenced, removed, or canceled because your ops catch wind of a quicker way to get you out of the picture, or the peanut gallery choosing to co-sign the first opinion by someone deemed important to their society, and they all just kind of bandwagon this one opinion while not knowing the facts in general that you don't really need to know, but since you need to know now because someone aired it out, this is where facts become distorted by popularity. Small communities, you can have healthy rivalries with people and inclusion to training or input. There's an asshole here or there. There's a convenient clown here and there that also looks on the bright side. But for the most part, small communities are more grassroots driven, and they have a more grassroots driven undertone towards less turbulence and friction in one's journey. Non-small communities, not so much larger communities, but those that just aren't small, they can also be ample size. You have a healthy rivalry at times still, yes, but you also have more duty to civility and maturity of that rivalry. You want to keep it cordial. You can't just be weird all the time per se, or too different to avoid being the odd one out or the off guy people don't talk to as much. In the bigger servers and areas, you want to avoid that creation of discomfort due to the beehive activity most times, and a lot of your meaning probably getting lost in translation. Like a small pivot, but that detail I think is also why lurkers exist, because they're so different from either the nature or the tone of that space that they're in compared to where they come from, so they just speak only on business and not for connecting. Then you have gatekeepers or ops that you'll be sorting out. That's not a thing in smaller communities. That's a thing in like ample sized communities and higher is where you got to deal with gatekeepers and ops more consistently than anywhere. Because the bigger you get or the more comfortable you are in competing, the more of those people, gatekeepers and ops you have to deal with that find you in order to sit you with misery in different forms. It becomes more of an emotional roller coaster versus social media echo chamber. It's really crazy here because like dogpiling or the inability to be accountable and the blame game all become unfamiliar or fair game depending on how you get your hands dirty. The whole of this lens is really just people trying to wear a false badge of honor or something to try and prove they're important to themselves and others. It's like it's fake. It's supporting the narrative of fake inclusion over just having genuine inclusion and just being honest with yourself and being honest with other people around you. And then the last thing I'll take a note at here was also platform segregation. Like you're selective or general exclusive of inclusion, opinion, credit of your work or accomplishment, or community detail because of what platform you're on or you originate from, whether or not you come from PlayStation or console or Steam, PC, or Switch. This is an online only social undertone for some communities that people or groups just do without prejudice to sound more important than they are to police your engagement because they don't like you or they don't like you yet need to use you for a common interest amidst aggressive lurking or aggressive ghosting. They'll hear half of what you say or did, but show no interest and discredit the other half because of platform relevance. As petty as that sounds, I know that sounds excessively petty, but there are some communities that are like that. They don't mean to have that image, but they have people that act like this that put a very bad image to the engagement of the game or the game experience. It may be that space sometimes, yes, but sometimes some people don't have really good experiences in those regards because of that ideology. Like if people like someone else can say what you said and then they'll listen to it fully because it's from a comforting source, not of the same platform as you, the one who originally spoke it. It's like a PlayStation person's POV about something that you needed an input on being invalidated in the presence of a PC person because they're not on PC to play the same thing, thinking that the experience is going to be somewhat different or better than the PSN experience, which is why you feel innately like you need to invalidate it. There are communities that are more ignorant than need be amidst being possessive or Hollywood or both, where you're isolating deeper conversation to only like-minded discussion or like platformed people. That's dumb. That's just dumb. It's dumb as hell. But thankfully, it's not a thing in many communities. This is a very, very niche social experiment, in my opinion, that some communities do. Like examples of like the type of platform segregation or stuff like Mortal Kombat, specifically X and one before it had the crossplay. Dragon Ball Fighters to some degree in its original version, the original era of the video game, and Guilty Gear Strive, not the Guilty Gear community itself, but just Strive once the crossplay was integrated there, and then PC and PlayStation people started meshing. This isn't a thing on PlayStation, by the way. The worst that happens on PSN in the exclusion inclusion sense is maybe you getting kicked from a chat or the communities once upon a time. I miss PlayStation communities. You can keep up with you can't really keep up with the ladders, which is why you would get booted, or you're inactive for like a long portion of time, but you're added to a very active chat or circle of groups, so eventually they're probably going to kick you. But PC treats this like some social experiment, in my opinion, where you're trying to rage bait someone with a clear different opinion than you that you feel you can dismiss because you don't want to hear something different than what you want to hear. You want to hear the echo chamber, but this is what you're dealing with, and you feel like you have the power to dismiss it entirely. You create hostility unnecessarily. These factors are why I feel that the niche scene and the indie game scene and the niche scene, integrally speaking, are better suited for the enrichment process and the fighting game experience than going to a AAA game in a AAA community.
Well, I think you hit some pretty good points there. Mr. Chris, how do you want to approach? Which point do you want to, the communities or like indie versus AAA first?
I guess we could hit the communities first.
All right. So we'll start with a small scale because I'm a TO in our local community. Mr. Chris has done some of the TOing here and there over the years. I know and I've done esports management for about a year and a half. That was interesting. That was through a mom and pops type team. So sure you can guess how that went. But as far as our like local scene, we've never really had any big issues with people except for the occasional random there was like they were the Yoshimitsu gang or whatever is the best way we could describe them. They were we banned them essentially due to they were either at January 6th or something or got inquired by the FBI because I know our head TO had to speak to somebody. And so
That
and then
group?
well, one of them was just some things they were saying online. I never saw it, but I know our main guy not to be a liar, and he's a pretty open-minded guy and gives you a fair chance. And there's been a couple of other people we've had that have been. I think it's only been like I'd say about 5 people, maybe 6 banned, and some are because they were messing with younger teens and they shouldn't have been, is the nicest way to put it. And so they got banned for that away from us, and we let the area they were going to about that just be on the safe side. And they're like, you ruined my life. I was like, bro, you made the choices that you ruined your own life. But when it comes to like online communities, and this kind of just goes all the way back to like even probably before you and I or Mr. Chris even got on. I didn't get on the internet till like 2005. But as far as like major community shenanigans happening, that's always been kind of there. But like everybody, it's like it's for the fun of the game. But it's this upscaling of like, oh, you shouldn't be here because you believe such and such or whatnot. I'd say it started back in like it feels like 2014 in a weird sense, because I remember like back in the day when we were I'm sure all of us have played Call of Duty at one point, and oh boy,
yeah.
how heated some of those lobbies could get. I
I'll tell
know.
you, that started it. Bro, them Call of Duty lobbies were legendary, chat. Let me tell you.
Ooh, one of my most favorite stories to always tell. Old gamer tag I still use, like Phantom Doom. My other buddy had Phantom something, and there was another Phantom. It was just, it was silly. We were playing it was regular team deathmatch in Modern Warfare 2, and there are these three Hispanic guys. I don't assume they spoke any English, and I don't speak Spanish. I can get a gist of it to a degree because it's not that far off from English. But like they beat us one game. It's just like, yeah, gringo and all that. I was like, okay, we'll and we went for like, I think the next 5 games we tore them up. We're just carrying everybody else along for the ride at that point. But there'd be at times you're just trying to mind your own business after a day of work. Man, you hear some kids, some morons just hooping and hollering, cussing, throwing slurs out there like it's the God-given right. I was like, mute, 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 mute. And it's like, and now that's why all these games from Battlefield to Call of Duty to almost any game, I swear, some single player games, like we need you to agree to these set of agreements just to play the game. It's like, I'm not playing with anybody else. It's just me.
That's it.
Hell,
Yeah, but not even Call of Duty now. Basically, they monitor the chat now. So if you say certain things on there, they'll ban you.
oh, you said you said free Hong Kong banned.
Saying ho 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 up in this bad boy, get banned.
Which to me is, I'm not exactly sure how they can do it. How you ban somebody from a product they bought and paid their money for.
Well, you agree to their terms and service, and remember, people fail to read these terms and services, but it's getting to the nth degree to where, like, even if you own the product, you really don't own the product. A guy I follow on YouTube or whatever that owns a repair shop, there was something called a Jamboard that Google made from like in 2017, or no, it was 2021. It was a very fancy touch screen board, but you had to pay you would pay $5,000 to $7,000 for that damn thing, and then have to pay $500 a month for the support. And then
So it's basically like rent.
yeah, you don't really own it, and when the support gets cut, it's a glorified touchscreen. They turned it into something, I can't remember what. I think an image display or something. They ended up running I think with Half-Life 2 off just the base hardware on it, which was hilarious. But it didn't look good. You can imagine that thing was chugging a bit.
Yeah.
But now it like well, as far as like big communities go, overarching from anime to like whatever, it's mostly chill, but it's when you get the tourists that really start.
I wouldn't even say the tourists. It's more like the vocal minorities in a lot of these groups.
You know,
They kind of just ruin it for everybody.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We'll take Guilty Gear as just an example. I never really played Guilty Gear except maybe some games here and there. Strive's the one I really put like a lot of effort into. I think I played it for 8-9 months. I gave it a fair shake. But then like when you had characters like Bridget come back, who like, and now I'm a lore type of guy. I love stories to games, even if they're like insane. Like I love the story to Guilty Gear. It's nuts and it's hilarious, and I love it. Epic
Absolutely.
chaos.
It's like nice. It's like a nice unhinged like lore for the most part.
But then you have, it's like, okay, we're going to make this. I don't, the character Bridget is always one I always choose an example of. There's plenty of others that, and it's so hard for me to describe this because when I tell people this, there's a main culture and then there's always a subculture. to everything. Like there's like the main American culture, then there's like several subcultures under that. And then
I
some
think I
people
have
look,
an idea where this is going. Not to cut you off. I think would this happen to be them altering the lore in order to virtue
yeah,
signal by chance?
there's a I don't know what it's called in Japan. I did at one point because I did some research on it because it's not a not what we would describe as like metrosexual or whatever. It's something it's something in
Transgender?
Japan. It's something in Japan. It's just Japan only thing. I may never understand because I only know so much, and it's more of a cultural thing over there. Like how there's like the Gothic Lolita style in fashion. They've got so many crazy fashion genres over there. But this
I
is
will say Japan's fashion is pretty up to date for the most part. They're well ahead of American culture for like most of the nuanced things.
if you get in the Gothic Lolita style, good luck to you. That's going to hit your wallet hard. What is her name? Like her name's like Ray Ray. I can't remember. She's really into it. I've seen her on Sea Dog VA's videos over the years. Oh no, Rin Rin. That's what it is, Rin Rin. But it's but yeah, it's Bridget represented that weird kind of like subculture. I don't know how to describe it because there's certain symbols that were on Bridget's outfit. To a degree, Josuke from part 4 and JoJo had a couple of like the weird emblems that sort of like meant that subculture to a degree. But I think that's something I have to research. It's been a long time because
I'm trying to think of the design you're talking about. Like not
it's the male
her
symbol
design
that just
now, but
goes normally. It's really weird how it's used. It's just like what have the male and then female symbols. It's the male
yes.
symbol, but it means something differently in this subculture. Like I said, it's not knocking or anything. It's just I can't describe it because it's something more. You have to live over there to really understand.
Is it like a part of her original design from XX and Xrd?
Yeah, it's part of his original design from back then. Because someone did a deep dive, and I remember reading over it. I'll have to. It's not complicated. It's just very convoluted. Because it's just something you wouldn't see unless you're in there and know about it, type deal. But Bridget was just always a cool character from back in the day. Hell, Testament is probably one of the most like that character that you can't even tell that character's male or female anymore, considering how terrible of a backstory that character Testament has, being turned into a weapon. Then it's back to normal. And it's like, but I mean, Bridget's story is like, oh,
It's pretty clear cut.
Village has twins. That's considered a bad omen. All right, both of you have to be girl. One has the, I think that's how it went. I can't remember. I'm not gonna dive
one
too much into
one had to be a boy and one had to be a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because all I know about Bridget's backstory is I remember that they had to join. Was it a hunter that also joined the church as like I guess like a setup or something.
That may have been one of the only ones. Like the story for Guilty Gear is so convoluted, but it's fun. But there's so much to keep track.
Yeah, because I think when she came into Strive, they kind of tweaked her backstory a bit.
Yeah, they did. They changed it. It's like
that's what I was talking about. They kind of altered the conclusion of it from the last generation in order to fit the virtue signaling aspect of the current generation.
And I'm like, that's kind of dumb, but for the most part, but that's not my cup of tea or whatever. I'm not gonna play a character who uses a yo-yo as a weapon. That's just me. But I'm like,
she's fun.
Yeah, she's fun. I'll say she's fun for the most part. Think RAM, where you can play ignorantly, but you don't also have to worry about the committal of big buttons.
I'll just play Bedman then. Uncontrollable bed.
Oh, my Bedman brother. Yo.
Oh no, I'm more of a biking player, if anything. But
I,
that's in Sam show though.
Yeah. I'm
you
the
can play.
king mommy. I'm the king mommy biking player.
You can have it. I'd have to relearn stride from the ground up from everything they added, but that's just
Biking is so much fun, bro. That's a topic for another time, though. Like, we're gonna have a topic for just biking.
but that's just one example I can see where many game studios are like, oh, let's fit this weird narrative. It's like, brother, this doesn't fit with your main audience.
It doesn't. Now, in Strive's case, I will say them introducing Unica was a good original design for introducing a new LGBT-based character that was an original character, not something that you had to alter from a yester generation to fit the narrative.
See, that's all I have to do. And just if you want to introduce a new character, do it. It's like like not trying to jump everywhere. It's like what they did with Iceman. Dang it, Marvel. Oh, he's gay now. I'm like, I'm sorry. What now?
Oh, they
I
can't
don't,
commit to that one.
I don't remember that ever happening. I was like, y'all need to take a chill pill on this. Then I don't know if you ever saw this. There was an introduction for the New Warriors. I'm sure you've heard the New Warriors title before from Marvel. But
That
these
sounds familiar. I think I've heard it around the same time as the Hitmonkey.
there's a few different iterations of the team, but this newest iteration there's a twins there called Safe Space, and two other characters. One was got turned into a bat by internet gas, and I'm like, they buried that title faster than anything else I've seen them put out in so many years.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
Oh.
the two twins' name was Snowflake and Safe Space.
Oh, I thought never. You're right. I thought it was like together, but
New
that's
Warriors.
own thing. But just in general, of companies doing this, like Call of Duty's introduced have lost itself in introducing like all these crazy characters you can play as. Here's LGBT or trans bullets. I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna be able to see these bullets. I'm gonna be dead. I don't, why would I waste my money on a cosmetic like that? I'm mainly going to see their guns or their suit. Why is the bullets freaking colored like whatever this trans flag is? Whatever. That's
Pink blue combo shit. Yeah.
I'm just like, oh. And then all this other craziness and some they've done with some things. It's like most people don't care as long as you
But see, that's
keep.
the. Oh, I was saying, but that's the thing about it though. They can introduce those elements into the games, but the way they do it is just so clunky and disjointed, and it doesn't
beat you
flow.
over
It
the head
doesn't
with
flow
it
smooth with the game. Yeah,
because
like if they go ahead.
oh no, I was going to say they did it in Destiny, or mainly Destiny 2.
Yeah, I say
It,
Destiny 2 was like more worldly, globally marketable than Destiny 1 was.
and I wanted to beat my head over my desk because every time, my God, when June would start, I was just like, I just want to play Trials, guys. I don't want to see like all these dumb banners.
Oh yeah, where they have the colors and whatnot for your shaders and whatnot that all kind of emulate. I mean, that's good. Don't get me wrong, they look nice from time to time, but you don't gotta make yourself more of a target in Trials.
It's like dude running
Unless
around
you're
like a
like that.
freaking rainbow. I'm like, bro, you need to try to like blend in with the environment, not stick out like a sore thumb. Come on.
Yeah. I will
Then
say though, for the inclusion aspect, I think Fortnite probably does it best because they have like a small section for it that comes up where everything in there is like an emote or a spray or something that's kind of free for like maybe 1 or 2 days, and then we kind of go back to our regularly scheduled programming of the store.
and and then as it is on like as you discussed earlier, that the way some communities work, like we use the fighting game community because it's big enough yet small and still small enough. It's not like because where the outing and all that happens, it happens a lot in the fighting game community. I don't know about like any of like the big like Overwatch leagues and all that. I don't see that because these are more team based. But when it comes to like individual based, man, it hits when it comes to those communities, mainly outside of the FGC, it's more like content creators, like Dr. Disrespect being he's an idiot first and foremost. So I don't want anybody to know.
Unfortunately, he's a popular one.
Yes, he is popular. That's a big example of like, yeah, you out this type of creator out of your community. Then there are other creators that they may have said the N word maybe 10 years ago in a Call of Duty lobby, destroy him, ruin him. Like, stop doing that. And now it's not even nowadays. It's not even being that the whole cancel thing. Oh, such and such said retard 5 years ago. No one cares. Nobody cares. Why are you trying to ruin someone's life over that's not even a slur for the most part. I think one of the biggest examples I can use from the FGC is Chris G. He said the N word. What?
Oh yes,
7-8 years ago, longer than that. He apologized.
Marvel vs. Capcom, dude.
Yeah, and he apologized for it, and then it's just they just kept giving him shit.
Well, you know about that with F Champ.
Now, okay, F Champ, the reason he got banned is
he got banned for making a bad joke at a bad time.
Well, don't forget he was showing that dev kit for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
That's not why the FGC is pissed.
Oh, the FGC, but that's why Capcom banned him. I know that's for damn sure. But I mean,
it's to the point though. It's to the point though. With a lot of these players, it's like, dude, this has been like years and years ago. Why are these players still banned and cannot participate in any Capcom sponsored events or certain events?
Infiltration is like. Go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking, like, for years, like, I can understand for a couple years or maybe a few years, and then after a while, because if they've been out of the circuit for so long, you can slowly reintroduce them or lift their bans.
Yeah, like Infiltration is like should have been unbanned, and all.
Banning also deals with an inclusion and exclusion factor with communities too, and then that kind of persuades the normal tide of like how chill this community is until we mention said name. Like the last time a ban thing came up that altered a lot of the Tempest with a community was Umisho's banning in Guilty Gear Strive.
I think it was Tempest.
And Tempest, yes.
Yeah, he kind of self-banned himself, or he was going to take a break from the game.
And then God knows when you see more bans pop ups in the Smash community. Jesus.
Oh yeah, the Mango thing I think happened like last month I think.
I don't know. I know Hack.
How about like 2 or 3 months ago?
I think so. Mewtwo King, they tried to ban him too, I think.
Because Mike Hollows, I remember, covered one of those things. It was like a party or something that had happened with one of the big members of Smash.
It was
Ludwig's. Yeah, but they were doing Burial Kart.
Yep, it was Ludwig's thing. And Ludwig kept egging it on. It's like, bro, the dude's drunk as hell. You need to stop. They were doing the breathalyzer. He was pushing like.
He was like 3 times over the legal limit.
He was pushing like liver failure.
He was at the point where, he was putting to the point where he could have had alcohol poisoning.
They didn't think this was a problem?
They're idiots.
They kept encouraging him to drink more.
Popular YouTuber idiot. What's there to say?
Mr. Beast? Oh, that guy.
Ludwig was the dude doing it. So I mean,
but with me, when it comes to the fighting game scene, the more I'm just basically kind of taking a little bit of a break from it. The more I'm just sitting back and watching. I'm like it's ideology. How am I trying to say it?
Ideology driven.
Yeah, it's already been captured. And you can tell who's on what side by the people who don't really say anything because they're not trying to piss off the other side.
Right, they're trying to stay in good graces with whoever it is they got that they're close to, and not trying to just keep it 100.
That's kind of
Yeah.
It's about
happening.
imagery.
Yeah, it's kind of happened in our scene a little bit too. Not,
What's
it's
happening?
mainly just at me, and I'm not going to name names.
I'd be kind of fine with it. Like that's about the only thing I've really been noticing about our scene, that it's become more so recently, more not I don't say more recently, ever since Donald Trump came in office, more politically charged.
A lot of people are very upset. It's like, we're here to smash buttons, but if you want to talk about the subject, we can, but you may not like what you hear.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to talk about politics. I'm here to play the game and just kind of relax and chill. I've always felt like that's something that shouldn't, like, why are we talking about politics at a fighting game tournament?
Thank you. Like just because the politicians are making it their thing is just to drive it down our throats every day as a part of everything we do now, that doesn't mean that we actually have to listen to that.
Don't forget the loud minority in these communities. They're like, you're not for this or that. It's like, bro, we're here to play a game for fun, not whatever you're trying to go on for brownie points or a clot.
And I would say this, like, the people who I thought would be the ones bitching about things are the ones who don't really care. Because we have gay and lesbian and trans people in our community, and I would think they would be the ones complaining about it, but they don't really even care.
They chill.
They're here. I'll use this word very loosely. They're normal.
A rare word in 2025.
They just want to play the game. That's
They're normal.
Yep.
Which is a weird word to say.
Yep.
It just, when I look at the overall, especially when this whole Saudi thing and them coming in, that's just like, and everybody's like, we're gonna boycott Evo. We're gonna do. I'm like, well, okay, well, if you're gonna boycott Evo, then you're gonna have to boycott Combo Breaker and CEO. Because the two TOs of that, because the TOs for both of those tournaments also do EWC and help the Saudis and all that stuff. So if you're gonna try to boycott one thing, you got to boycott it all.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed about the scene is that there's a lot of people that are big hypocrites in this scene.
We won't name names, even though I really want to. But now
I know of a handful, but another time.
Now I want to lean in towards the AAA versus Indies now. That's all right with y'all. And I figured we would use Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is I think a perfect segue into this. As y'all can see on the screen, it's Steam charts. I was trying to find it through Steam, but for whatever reason, I don't know how to work that Steam chart yet. So thankfully, Steam charts works right here. Now, this game started off very strong with 46,000. Or it's probably higher than that. This is Steam, so I don't have access to Xbox numbers or PSN numbers. But now, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Chris. When did the merch store hit? DLC store? Was it February? Was it March?
I can't remember because I never go to it.
It was in one of these months. It really hit, and basically it's smart on Namco's end to do this. So they, all right, we got all the good reviews and everything. All right, let's put in the monetization. And then after that, you can tell just Steam some of these spikes are when I think a character dropped. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments later. Because fucking Raw dropped when did he drop?
About 2 months ago, didn't he?
Yeah, so it's about that spike there. And then Armor King technically right within technical release today as of this recording. So that's why you're seeing an increase right there. But
well, I think that's just the early access people.
Well,
I think he doesn't get released to the public like officially until tomorrow.
Well, there's a lot of people that bought them through or bought the season pass.
I'm
So
still,
this is just a number there, but it's still a good increase, especially from last
Yeah,
month.
yeah,
But
because like I think when it was spiked, it spiked up to almost like 9,000 players.
that's yes, that's about right for like when a new character's dropped. But this game has also had some very controversial issues just because of the way the monetization has happened. A big drop off for this game was June of this year.
oh, the season 2
Season.
launch patch.
Oh yeah, that was such a. I haven't.
I didn't get a chance to study all that happened. All I know is just a lot of my friends told me that it was just like not a very interesting and favorable experience.
Let's put it this way: all the minor adjustments they were making. All right, we're gearing towards. All right, some balance between the unga bunga and like good defensive options. And then they're like, out of nowhere, here comes this dead with a steel chair. Bam.
It's a jungle out there.
Bro, there were
Yeah.
like Jack was doing some dumb stuff. Anna was doing dumb stuff.
She still is.
Oh my god.
more controlled to a point, I guess. Now, it's, that's why I'm like very sarcastic when I'm saying this to a degree. Hell, I mean, the only fair out of all the new characters that have been added, Falcon Raw is like pretty fair. And I mean, he was busted day one back in Tekken 7.
Well, I would say this too. King, Armor King, from what I've been reading and looking in people's chat stuff, like he's in line with Falcon Rom. Like
That-
he's not super overpowered, but he's more of like a poking, spacing character.
That's about what they were doing with Street Fighter with some of these newer characters. Like Sagat, he's very strong, fair, but not overpowered. That's what we'll probably see from a lot of DLC characters, unless Ingrid's going to be super busted. But we'll see.
He
Now,
is one I definitely want to try and have a talk on at some point or other because I would like to know where she even came from because she has like a whole like nightmare story from her time in like early Street Fighter era.
I forgot which one she came from.
She got
Like Super Street Fighter
introduced
3 or something.
It's in one of the alpha.
Was it Street Fighter? Was it Street Fighter?
Alpha.
It's one of the
I
Street
can't
Fighter
remember.
collections of alpha back on the PSP. If I remember correctly,
You look it up real quick.
she got
Well, that's
introduced randomly in the collection.
It was in Capcom Fighting All Stars before debuting in Capcom Fighting Evolution.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I knew it was one of them. Well, when it comes to the monetization in Tekken, I can't. I'll tell you, I don't buy anything from the shop. I've still got. They give me free coins all the time, and I still don't even use anything. I never go in that shop.
I think I used them once. I can't remember what I bought.
But I don't particularly like the monetization system in Tekken, but it must be doing pretty well because the game technically is still on pace, the same pace as Tekken 7.
To a degree.
Oh.
Someone correct me if I said this name wrong. I'm sure both of you saw the introduction of Marizo. Marizo? I'm trying to make sure I pronounce it.
Marizo or Marizo or
something like that.
Sounds familiar.
Well, she's she's a very interesting character. She how do I want to put this? She's an inherent holder of one of these ancient ogre spirits, one that's specifically to Madagascar. So she can do some of Song Mina's moves from like Soul Calibur in a weird degree. Some of the spiritual like spear and spin off of it like a pole dancer. Has like a lemur's tail she can use. It's really weird to me. But the biggest problem is when this character first released, and it's one of the dumbest things because people don't understand skin tone whatsoever or any form of art, especially when it comes to lighting and stuff. This character's too light toned. This character's not. It's too dark. It's like, my brother in Christ. You know, some of these countries, they got people from there like pale as the moon to dark as the obsidian. You not understand that? Most of them is pretty much a caramel color or something. I mean, I don't know what else to tell them. And hell, Tekken had the damn issue where most of the females, for some weird reason, had the same body type. Apparently, that was a glitch with Unreal Engine they fixed, but it's just like, why does everybody have the same almost base model? It's really weird. Like, all the dudes look very different, scarred or not scarred. It's like, y'all killing me here. I need to be. I shouldn't be able to swap hairdos and eye colors here on some of these female characters.
Fair enough.
Because
Yeah, and we
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was about to say, if we're talking about monetization, we have to really start looking at the companies that's developing these games
Yeah.
and the money that they're spending on the budgets of these games compared to like the indie scene.
Yeah.
Because you have, I think most of the budgets now for these games are at least $200 million going to a lot of these AAA games.
Yeah. When GTA 6 drops next year, oh man, that's gonna really rock some boats. But we'll use a good example that released earlier this year. I love it, yet hate it. Monster Hunter WoW. This started off wrong.
The follow up after Monster Hunter, like revitalizing the title, I think, or before.
Like Define starting off strong.
Well, as you can see, WoW now technically, usually after the console versions release, Capcom will work on the PC release. Like Monster Hunter World's PC launch went smooth. But since this was Capcom's fiscal year was coming up, they made the decision to release this game on every platform. And this seems to be a weird thing I've noticed with RE's engine. But RE's engine works really well. Even some of the areas in so a lot of the Resident Evil games are pretty big. But apparently the Monster Hunter areas are a lot bigger. Dogma 2 is a lot bigger. So there's performance issues too. And where lies the biggest problem Monster Hunter Wilds has dealt with? That's because they've put too much of a budget into like the graphic engines and everything, instead of being the first option. The first thing anybody should do for anything is optimize. You know and they decided to pull the trigger because they wanted to meet their physical year. That's why a lot of people are still upset. Hell, up to now, some of these performance issues are still floating about in the PC edition. I play on Xbox. I've seen a couple of weird instances where I'm under the map when I'm like wrestling on the monster somehow. It's really weird, but I ignore it because I get put back above the ground. I haven't fallen under the map yet, thank God. That would suck. But
yeah,
and they made this decision because this is if not their main flagship series. They're like, all right, we're gonna burn some goodwill, and but we want to meet our fiscal year. And now but now they're paying the price also on this.
The problem with that though is the fact that they've basically gone to their stockholders and said, we're gonna have, I think, was it a 5 or 10% increase every year?
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
And I'm like, eventually it's going to plateau. You're not going to be able to grow like that just year over year over year.
And as another game that just released, I'll just use this as a minor example. Borderlands 4 dropped not too long ago. That game's already like down to $50. So if that doesn't tell you something about some of these big budget games, there's a problem. There's too much administration, I guess. It's the best way to put it. Hell, Street Fighter 6 even is suffering from success to a degree. It got, I guess, way too big for them to a degree, because they addressed the issue, thankfully, with the Capcom Pro Tour was going to be pay-per-view, and they wanted like $40 to $60. I was like, that might be
They fought that.
that might be normal in Japan. Over here, that's like better be worth my time if I'm paying that much. But none
But
of
that's
us
the thing. They didn't really back off of it though.
they're
They just said,
fixing
"Well,
it.
we will region price certain things." They didn't back off of it and say we're going to make it free again.
Right. They're gonna try and go the pay-per-view route, like how like WWE WrestleMania type stuff goes on, which means if they're gonna do that, they need to promote like the main people there, make them the main point of interest, like main event type shit, so that way it will get the audience to lock in.
Well, where they're renting out is like one of the. It's a Soma wrestling arena, and I think it's one of the most prestigious ones. So I think that's why it's turning into the pay-per-view essentially. But this is more geared towards the Japanese audience, so I'm not going to sit here and be upset about it, because it's Street Fighter's the biggest it's ever been in Japan for quite some time now. So I can't be upset at them being the way they're going towards that.
Yeah, get as much as you can out of it, like define the generation, but do it right.
But don't forget your outside audience.
I kind of understand it though, because it's like, okay, we're literally giving y'all $1 million every year.
That's not going to last forever.
Like, because in the past it was what 200. It was what 250,000.
Yeah,
was the grand prize.
Yeah, and a car as well too. I think that
I was just like, go ahead.
I think a car too. I think that was the second year for Street Fighter 5.
But I was just looking at it like, okay, they're giving $1 million away, and people, I know everybody in the community was super happy about it, but I'm like, eventually they're gonna start wanting to make a profit off this event. And so when they went pay-per-view, I was kind of like, kind of makes sense.
Well, Nakayama even said it turned into two separate branches now, because all of it was under the fighting game development branch too. So we'll see how it plays out. But
the biggest problem. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to get back to Monster Hunter. And Monster Hunter right now has pushed a lot of their DLC forward ahead of schedule. So the Final Fantasy 14 collaboration, I think dropped to about a month and a half earlier than was put out on the roadmap. Because they're pretty much
have no choice.
Yeah, well, they're pretty much hitting the panic button. All right, everybody in swimsuits.
The player base is down by, like, I think on the PC side at least, it's down to like, I think like 90 to 95% of the player base is gone.
Well, it dropped from, as you can tell on here, just PC wise, and then this month is when the event picked up. July, I think, is when I can't remember what that was.
It's not going to stay triple digits for long then, depending upon how long that event lasts.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I've had the same armor set since like month 1 that I use for general runs. I didn't even bother making any like the high end like stuff mixed armor sets. And I'm sure somebody will say I'm a lazy player, but I've been playing this series since PlayStation 2. And if I'm just using the same armor set, that's too easy to me. I'm not being forced into the corner to like, okay, I need to reassess hunting this thing and make a bit more of an optimal set. I've now had to consider that now with the Omega weapon that got put into here. Is now where I'm have to consider that now.
So they're just now introducing something where you now are considering making another build compared to your standing build that has served a general purpose for everything in the game.
Yes. That's a problem.
That's not good.
I should be one.
Should
I should
have
be
should have lots of
challenged.
builds. Yeah, you should have lots of builds and whatnot that come from experimenting. It, if I'm listening to that for the first time as a Monster Hunter person, I've only played like Monster Hunter. It's like my very first one I actually delved into. I delved into one back on the PSP years ago.
Was it Freedom Unite?
Ultimate, I think.
Okay, I was gonna say Freedom Unite. Man, that was the most content-packed damn game you could buy on that PSP.
I rented that from one of my. I rented that from one. What it was, Blockbuster years ago, and I only had a chance to have it for like the 2 days. It was a really, really great game. I wish I could have bought it if I was a Monster Hunter person back then. I didn't even realize I would be one now. Then I could appreciate it. I could appreciate it better. But hearing a build like that tells me that you've explored a good amount of the game, at least from the veteran perspective, is that you've explored a good amount of the game where this alone just stands out for you to keep and then maximize the most out of this. And so you're not really challenged or intrigued to make different builds if it pivots into a lesser version of what you already have at optimal.
No, I want to be challenged, and I'm not feeling challenged till now. But that's a here nor
I
there
had that
thing.
same issue
Oh,
until
go ahead.
Iceborne came out. Oh no, you're good. No, I was gonna say World had that same issue for a while until Iceborne came out to up the ante for
That's
everything.
but that's fine. And once you hit a certain like the end game to the in Worlds and you got Iceborne, now that Fatalis fight is like one of the best they've made in quite some time. You got 30 minutes, you're doing it solo, good luck. I think I beat that mission solo maybe 5 times out of like 60 something hunts that were not co-op.
Did it five more than me.
Like 5 by myself. That's saying something of how much I enjoyed that challenge. I didn't care if I lost. That was a fun run. But enough about Monster Hunter. We're going to go now into the indie a bit. Now, earlier this year, now, if you've had a chance to play this, if not, I would highly recommend it. Claire Obscure's Expedition 33, released back in April. Now, they released this at like sort of a lower cost, so you can buy this for like $50 on any console or on Steam. This game, ignoring the player count, because this is just Steam, so you take that for what it is, but Steam numbers are still good numbers. This is far one of the best RPGs I've played in a long time. I was playing up for like 11 hours. It's been a long time since I've done that with an RPG. I'm kind of doing that with Digimon Story Time Stranger now, but Claire Obscure takes the JRPG formula. You can dodge, parry, jump, which sounds like kind of silly in a weird way, but when you're fighting some of these bosses, you get into the rhythm of them. Now, I haven't gone to the New Game Plus yet because I got to prep for that because that's a lot tougher.
Oh my god, they have one for that game too? But they have a New Game Plus for the Expedition 33?
Yes, it does.
Oh my gosh, okay.
The story is amazing. I believe the company is a Sandlot Interactive. I think it's and the team that built this is only 30 people. And they were all a chunk of them were ex Ubisoft employees. And if you ever get a chance, look at like the early ideas they had for this game. It looks very different than what it is now, obviously. And the artists they found for this game, this game has like one of the best soundtracks. They found the guy on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Chris, when are you going to play this game?
Eventually, when I get time, I say, man, my backlog is stretching out away back into the PS3 days.
I think you're going to have to retire part of your list there. Oh.
Because I actually game. And
That's
so
what
I
happened.
has. I'm trying to think. Well, how big is I think my collection of like games, right? Yeah, it's almost 400.
Damn,
My goodness.
I've kept mine low.
I don't even know how big my Steam collection is. I know my PlayStation collection was easily like every free game of the month, so
Oh
I
no,
say
that wasn't Steam. Oh
300,
no, that's
400
not
-ish.
Steam. That's just physical games.
Damn.
You got like
That's
3
a,
bookshelves full, probably.
I'm about to say that basically is my whole bookshelf over here of anime, but as video games.
But
I know, I just always been a game person, so it's just one of those things. And once I got to a certain age, I just stopped selling and trading my games, and I started just keeping all of them.
I wish I understood that back in the day.
But I think if you gave some of these indie developers the budget of some of these bigger studios, like I would love to see what Clear Obscura would do with $200 million.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to. I have to go look up the budget, but this is still a decent budget. I think was a couple of $1 million. Don't quote me. I'll
But
have to. But still,
it's not. But it's
going-
not Spider-Man though. Spider-Man 2 was what 300. I think it was 350 million
It's
in development budget.
something insane. Now, and this is an indie game, by the way, an indie studio. This is what happens when you have some good bit of money. Now, let's talk about. I know you haven't heard about this, Mr. Rodimus. Schedule 1. Schedule 1. I didn't even hear about this till like a couple of days after it launched. People were playing it. The demo gave you so much playtime. This was one of the
was
most.
that expansive?
Yeah. People were playing the hell out of the demo.
Gosh.
This game was only made by one dude, Tyler One, I think. Okay, not Tyler One, the streamer, just so anybody knows. I might have that wrong, but one guy made this game. And it's insane how popular it is. It's fun. This is up there with like Lethal Company and all that. Lethal Company was only made by one dude. It's just a fun co-op game. It's like less than $20. That's what the AAA doesn't understand. You got people out here that are making stuff that's like on like they're making games out of shoe strings, freaking paper clips, and chewing gum, and just made $1 million. And the first week this game sold, he made $1 million.
My God, damn.
And now here's another one. Here's another indie game that just came out of nowhere. This is Megabonk. Can you take a guess at what this is? It says roguelike and all that, but take a guess.
Let me look at that. So.
No, take a guess. Don't even look at it.
Oh.
Because I'm going to share some videos on it in a second.
I am going to guess that this is a knockoff action adventure with pseudo RPG elements. If I have to guess.
Did you ever play Vampire Savior?
No.
It's a game where you literally just walk around. It's like a bullet shooter. This is a 3D version of that, basically. And you can do a lot of stuff in this game. Like, I will show you this the game dev for this.
September 18th. Oh, it's released right after my birthday.
Yeah, right here. This look and it's sold well. It's like literally the game sold 1 million in 2 weeks. This man is not eating ramen noodles anymore. He's eating spaghetti with the extra sauce.
Bro.
And now we'll get to his YouTube channel. Now he put out some dev blogs right here. Not much. Now, through some research I've done, some people are saying this name is backwards of a YouTuber that disappeared like 3 years ago. So if you take this name's this dude's name and flip it. Basically, it's like
Dan and Dev.
and it's something like that, basically. But now he put in these. This is whatever. Now he got smart. He got real smart with the algorithm. It's like forget the videos. The videos did okay. Here's where the views start really kicking in. Now we'll play a couple of these because it's like, all right. If it'll load. Listen, I know you're kind of struggling a little bit here, but work with me. Please load. Screw you, YouTube.
Come on, like YouTube, let me get it in here.
All right.
The channel has to be treated right like a lady. Let me do the Rodimus touch.
I'm gonna beat it with a stick.
Or you could do it that way, but it's not gonna respond well.
Basically, you can skateboard with a skeleton. By the way.
What?
Yes. All these videos, he's like, hey, I'll do this. I'll put this in there. Like, seriously, this meme right here, this is a meme character. He put in, like, basically, this is a Giga Chad.
That isn't what I think a Giga Chad would look like. Like mentally speaking.
You got to remember, this is Goofy.
Yeah.
And then the skateboard, he's like, so hey, put skating in your game. And he put it in and he literally shows in one of these shorts, I think it's this one, not this one, but one of the earlier ones. He takes I think it's the skeleton's body, and he's like, okay, or it's the orc's body, I think it is. And he's like, okay, I need this to grind. He's like going through showing you in Unity how he's doing it. He basically shows you from the ground up of how this goes, and it turned into this. This game is ridiculous. Let me see off my. No, never mind. I'll have to look at another tab. But I mean, it's basically like, well, damn you. We'll just look up some gameplay real fast.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't speak. I can't do this game justice. We'll do the release trailer.
That'll work.
Load. Usually I'm not having this issue. I promise.
Oh no, I believe. This is the game. This is the algorithm saying it's good.
Like
No,
they're-
we can afford to chill.
So what is the main thing that we? It's just that the indie developers have more freedom to kind of do what they want to do and don't have to.
They don't have to answer to the shareholders or anything like that.
There's no higher power that they have to answer to that's dictating their budget, or that's dictating the pace that they are naturally wanting to go at.
See, and we'll move into the next game I wanted to talk about. Battlefield 6. Look at how this is doing right now. Indie devs, they only adhere to certain things. This Battlefield minus it's the campaign's the only weak side from Battlefield 6 I've seen. Everything else, people made Space Invaders in the map creator they have, and all these other crazy things you could think of. Now you have Vince Zampella is telling people, like, this is just one exchange. The EA app was having issues on launch, obviously. He's like, he's playing on Steam. And for those that don't know, Vince Zampella has, I'll just show a Wikipedia page, and I'm sorry it's Wikipedia, but he's done Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Titanfall, Apex, all of Star Wars series. He was a co-founder of Infinity Ward and now Respawn Studios.
He's got a hell of a lot of lineage already in the gaming scene.
But what is a little bit sad, and this is not against EA, or it kind of is against EA. It took one company being merged that made the single player basically for Battlefield 6, got merged into one of the other studios just to make this game. It took 4 studios, so that's like 15,000 employees. And Vince Zampelli, excuse me, just for this to run well. This is tried and true Battlefield back in the day, like Bad Company, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 type stuff. And now, as I was saying, with indie devs, they don't adhere to anybody. They become an instant millionaire overnight. Now, this game made over $1 million on the first day of launch. Now, will there be monetization introduced later on? Most likely. But this is a win. I give credit where credit is due. And what's funny, the only people that have been complaining about this game are the silly little Call of Duty creators. Because in Call of Duty, it's about you. In Battlefield, it's your team. I don't care if I've gone 5 and 20. Guess what? I've capped 20 different points. Guess who won? My team won. And all you can have 200 kills if you want to 5 deaths, all you want. That doesn't mean anything in this game. And it's even got the gunsmith system. It's like, oh, you have an M4 that has no recoil. That's cute. What are you going to do against a tank?
Okay, you can use rocket launchers against tanks.
Yeah, there'll be tanks, helicopters, and all that. But now you're asking people to learn how to fly. That's
the next interactive thing that you can do in an FPS game, because usually you're always just like flying a drone or like a drone strike when you have a streak, but now you can actually just have the item in the environment, like something out of Halo.
I will tell you now, the people that know how to fly these things, I want to be on their team because I cannot fly a jet or a copter to save my life. That is beyond me. And when you have
investing wisely,
and when you have, I've played against some teams where they've had like it's 5-6 players. They're extremely good at that. They will mow you down. There's no cap in those points unless you're able to take their air support out. Like that is the best way I can describe it. Hell, and we'll go to another tweet real fast. Zampelli said, let's see, he's yelled about it. It's basically, he's like, bro, just refund, go buy on Steam. And he's basically, Vince Zampelli is the type of leadership a lot of these game companies need, that understand the customer. The problem is with a lot of these big AAA companies, shareholders and everything, they don't care about the customer. They don't understand about being a customer. That's
they just care about the bottom line.
Yeah.
True.
But I think that's all games are going towards that now with the monetization system now. It's like we sell you a game, but then we sell you everything else you actually need to use in the game separately.
Or season passes. You're going to say something, Mr. Rodimus Prime?
That sounds about right in that regard, because it's like the Destiny, I think, was like the first one of the last generation that was starting to do that, where it's giving you half a game and then it's selling you the complete version of the game later, adding in pieces of it later on to make it complete when it could have just been complete, and then making the originality stuff later on. Instead of being a new game, it could just be the DLC here and be a much more enriching, well-rounded source. But again, you kind of like half-ass it because scheduling and communication and pushing for money more than quality of life features.
In some of these games, go ahead.
I said we ain't even got to go that far. We can look at Nintendo, which is selling you a game with day one DLC.
Yeah, with Pokemon Legends, which technically released today, depending on where you're at. And I will tell you now, as someone that used to buy every Pokemon game, go buy Digimon. I've had so much more fun. It doesn't. This version of Digimon doesn't have any form of multiplayer, but I'm like, that's fine. And what sucks about ZA is the mechanics look nice in the game. Don't get me wrong, but when you're giving a lot of the new Pokemon or the older Pokemon mega forms, like that mechanic never really bothered me because
Some just look lazy.
Would you like me to show you what Starmie looks like? Have you seen what Mega?
I saw it and I was laughing my ass off while disappointed.
Elongated legs, Starmie. What the hell?
You go from being like a beautiful disc to an even beautiful disc to now walking on land. Who thought of this? I need to smack you.
Well, it can walk on land. That's nothing new, but it's just
it's literally doing it now.
The two bottom joints are now elongated legs. That's it.
Didn't they have a Pokemon that looked like a chandelier?
Oh, yeah, that's Chandelier.
That's Chandelier from Gen 5. It's just that Starmie one, bro. That literally looks like the Patrick meme brought to life.
Yeah, that's what Mega Starmie is. And then like Feraligatr has a hoodie part.
I was so happy until I saw that because I was really excited to see what Mega Feraligatr looks like, and then it looks like a gigantic looking toy with some like red thing over top of the. I couldn't.
What was this other one? It's a ghost frozen type. It's
Frostlass.
She's elongated. Really tall.
That's why I had to think about that, because when you think about this, because the original lore of it is that it's just like a floating headless entity, and so when it's the metaphor of like the legs go all the way up, here's the neck goes all the way down.
It's supposed to be a take on the ghost yokai, and I don't remember which one, but this is just so weird to see those mega forms in such a hard. I don't even know what to say. Oh, speaking of, some of the starters mega forms are locked behind ranked. You know how many people I know that play ranked?
Put it in the trash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had told you that, and you didn't believe me when I told you.
I had to look it up because I was like, no, they wouldn't have done that. They did do that. What the hell?
So they want to drive their customers to the competition. Say less, Nintendo.
Bro, I've played competitive Pokemon, not at the tournaments or whatever, but I've done the online ranked. I really do have to number crunch to a degree, and I know too many people that don't want to number crunch. They don't want to math. They would rather just throw a rock at a wall and see if it works. They're like, well, this move's supposed to be super effective against it. Why isn't the Pokemon dead? Well, you didn't train your Pokemon right. You didn't put on the right name. And you're talking about Excel spreadsheets galore, stuff like this, damage calculations and everything. I'll stick to my fighting games where I have to deal with optimal combos. The most optimal combo is going to be the one I figure out at the time of playing, not the crazy long. I use all my bars. But that's
I don't know. Y'all play Pokemon more than I do.
Listen,
I haven't played any of the new stuff now. I just know a lot of it. I knew I got out of the game at the end of Gen 5 for Black and White 2 when I had my last romp, and then I got rid of all my Pokemon stuff. I haven't played Gen 6 onward, but I just stayed in the know to see how the Pokemon evolutions would go. A handful of them I'm impressed about, and even more about them I'm not impressed about. A few I'm saddened and disappointed on. But the evolution of the grid, nice. Item usage, nice. The after story activity, I'm excessively disappointed in every generation. And the story for like the Elite Four and the Champions, I like how more expansive and diverse that they become. Like I love it most for the replayability of stuff that you like to do after the main story. They diminish that more and more as the generations went on, and I don't like that.
I will tell you this. There's an account on X that does leaks for Pokemon. I won't say its name here for obvious reasons, but they came across the new there's a list of new games that are coming out. The next 2 Pokemon games that are coming out for next year. What essentially they seem to be going for is going to be 18. Like they're doing gym leader / Titan things. And each one represents something. I won't say what they are. I think you should just go look that up for yourself. And it's like the Nintendo company is really hitting hard with their politics. It's the best way I can describe it. But I will say, I believe it's Beasts of Reincarnation by Game Freak. There's some really talented people at Game Freak, and I'm so glad they're finally like getting away from just making Pokemon games.
It helps
Because
to expand the repertoire in your audience.
I
don't know how many.
Go ahead.
I said I don't know how many people are going to be buying them with the games going up to $80.
We will see, and it was shocking to see Nintendo be the one to pull the damn trigger on upping everything. But considering who's in charge now and all that, I'm not surprised anymore.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure when Grand Theft Auto come out, it's going to probably be $100. I'm expecting it to be $100 for the base game.
I want to co-sign that myself because I really feel it's going to be triple. It's going to be triple digit.
It probably will be. I will bet my bottom dollar GTA 6 will be $100.
And the fact that they're pushing to get away from physical media and now just everything's just all digital now. I'm like, I can pretty much expect the next generation of consoles will probably not even going to have disk drives.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be like an optional thing because like PS5 pushed that narrative of not having them be like directly attached to it. You can buy it as it, or you can buy it without it and then add it separately, which unironically is the additional $80-$100 difference for some stupid ass reason.
Well, it's as Ubisoft said, get used to not owning your stuff. It might not be word for word.
That's been happening. Even when you buy a game now, you really are not even buying the game. You're just buying a key to unlock the digital game.
Yeah. And we're going to go ahead.
That's why if you have the chance to get the physical copy of it, get the physical copy, chat.
Indeed. Always buy physical if you can.
But even with that, they're still kind of getting rid of that. Well, basically, all the disc is just basically like a key to tell the system that you bought the game, and then it downloads the digital copy to your system.
Depending on who the developer and distributor is, yes, it is that way. And it sucks.
Yeah, like they said, you will own nothing and like it. But I kind of put it on us because we kind of allowed the whole digital thing to kind of fester for a while.
Bill, it was nice and it wasn't crazy. Then they're like,
it's convenient. Yes.
Then like, all right, we're gonna take this convenience thing and beat you over the head with it.
I think if they really wanted to basically shift everybody to digital games, the smarter play would be to say, okay, well, we're going to raise games up to $80, but if you buy this digital game, it's $60.
I think would be, while unfortunate, that would also be a healthier way of introducing it into the ecosystem.
That's what I would think they would try to. They basically trying to push you towards the digital. It's like, hey, you can get the same game for $20 cheaper than you can the physical one, to try to wean people off of physical games.
What some of these AAA companies need to do is just start going back to making like the $20, $40 games. They don't need a huge budget. They don't. It's like, all right, here's $100,000. And trust me, a lot of people can do with a lot with $100,000. Someone's going to out there is going to say that they can't. I'm like, well, you've got people in their basements making games for just basic Unity at store assets and coming out on the top. So I don't know what else to tell some of these folks. But that's all
But
I
even
got to
with
say.
but even with that though, you still have games like Stellar Blade and stuff like that that comes out that they're technically an indie studio. I guess you would consider them AAA, even though they seem more like a AA studio.
They're a double A studio, but they do still have to sign with a publisher. But I mean, was it Shift Up Entertainment? They made a
Mhm.
mobile game, and ironically, that game has a very well written story. Nikke has a well written story. That is rare for me to say. But with all the money they've gotten from that, man, they can make Stellar Blade 50 times over.
Oh no, they've already know they're going to be doing Stellar Blade 2.
Well, I got to buy Stellar Blade 1 first, but that'll be probably next year.
Oh, okay, something I was going to say.
Well, I guess we can wrap it up here. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Oh, I'll let Mr. Rodimus go first.
To wrap up the thoughts on my I guess on my bid here for the argument that I was pushing earlier is to enjoy the enrichment process for the games you like to play and the communities you like to engage in. Don't let a lot of factors from other people try to dictate a set course that you want to take with enjoying your video game or enjoying your community experience, however long you aim to stay in it. The player expression is always an abundant feature in this genre more than anybody else, and other people do try to police the enrichment process of those expressive natures if they don't always align with theirs. Or they also try to monitor the morality, or they try to shut out your opinion based off of what platform you like to play most or best. The key thing about these experiences is to have the correct amount of engagement between like lesser seen communities with lesser seen games and the AAA games and the communities that come with them, bigger games or popular games and the communities that come with them, and to weigh your experience with one or the other. I want to say that the lesser seen and the niche experience is the most enriching of the experience because it allows you to have the bonding, the friend making, the socializing atmosphere, the inviting atmosphere, and the wholesomeness that playing a video game or playing a fighting game should ideally have. You can have this offline all the time, and online, I feel you get it from this, you get it from the latter. That's my argument.
Mr. Chris?
I was second what he said. I just think right now, I think everybody is way too politically charged. People are way too tucked away in their own little personal bubbles. And we need to just get back to what we used to and just, communicating over the things that we enjoy, games, fighting games, movies, anime, whatever. And just enjoy the thing together and stop trying to basically make it a political statement just on an anime that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I believe y'all both hit the nail on the head, so I really don't have anything else to add. So that'll be it for this episode, folks. This will be uploaded probably by like Friday. So,
Okay. I thank you for taking the time to invite me on here today. It was an honor to sit here and share my thoughts with you guys and with your audience.
no problem, brother. I'm glad to have you.